So it probably doesn't come as a surprise that somebody that has Crohn's disease spends a lot of time in the bathroom. The trick is to make that place as safe and as relaxing as possible. And I have a few tips for you. Let's go. So the basics, everybody knows that you do whether or not you have Crohn's disease. One is that you need to have soft toilet paper. I prefer Charmin. You also want to have some nice aromatherapy in the bathroom. I like the Bath & Body Works plugins. You can also get Glade or whatever. I like the Bath & Body Works plugins. I typically like the bathroom to be very fresh. And so I always purchase fresh linen or some like rainforest kind of scent. There's also toilet accessories, like having a padded toilet seat, getting one of those little squat things where you put your legs up. And I've never tried one. I don't know. I know that there are benefits to using those squat things that attach to your toilet seat. I've never used them. I'm a bit nervous too. I feel like I would just fall in. I don't know what I would do. I'm also scared of the OBGYN, and I always think about that whenever I see it. Something that I always recommend is having a very soft rug. You obviously don't want to be sitting there for a while, but having that extra luxury of running your toes through something soft always makes you feel a bit better. An accessory that you should not have in the bathroom is reading material, and let me explain why. You really should not be straining when you go to the bathroom, and you should not be in there for a long period of time. You want to be a super pooper, just get in and get out. When you are releasing, you do not want to inhale what your body believes is to be toxins. And so I think that having reading materials is one way to gather bacteria, but also an unnecessary way for you to inhale everything that you are releasing within the bathroom. So I recommend not do it. I'm sure all of you guys know that information. That is just the basic stuff that everybody should have. Now going on to more of a medical side with the Crohn's disease, you want to make sure you have proper medications. And the first one is not even a medication, but it is a cleansing wipe. I know this sounds very weird, and that I'm talking about this publicly, but it's very important for you to take care of your ecosystem down there, especially if you are a woman. You want to make sure you have cleansing wipes as an easy access after going to the restroom. Especially if you are a woman, you want to take care of the ecosystem down there. But then you also want to cleanse yourself if you have a fissure or some kind of tear. Which moves on to the next topic, is make sure you speak to your doctor about maybe having some topical creams for your restroom. If you have fissures fairly frequently, you want to make sure that you either have a lidocaine cream. You also want to make sure that you have the proper fissure ointments. I think that when you have Crohn's disease, you know, there is this stereotype that you're always going to the bathroom, which isn't really the case. I go as any normal human being does. But there's also this idea that you should just accept any pain that happens down there, and that's not true. Fissures should not be common. You should not be having them every single month. And so if that's an occurrence, please speak to your doctor. Saying you should have Epsom salt baths is something that I will recommend for every single video, because it really just relaxes your body. It really helps prevent any fissures and allows you to relax, which just makes everything better, especially your experience in the bathroom. The last tip I have that I think anyone can take, whether or not you are, you know, whether or not you have Crohn's disease, whether or not you are raising a 3-year-old and teaching her how to go to the bathroom. I don't know when you potty train kids. I don't know. Are they younger than 3? But just in general advice is to have a safety word. For me and my roommate, that word was flamingo. And for several months, I was losing a lot of blood, and I would have to sit on the floor after I go to the bathroom because I was so dizzy I could not stand up. And there were times where I did not trust myself, and I was very nervous that I might have to go to the emergency room because I was so symptomatic. My roommate and I came up with the code word flamingo because that isn't a word that we say pretty frequently. The funniest thing I remember was when my roommate was cleaning the kitchen and she was getting into all the nitty-gritty areas, and we found a spider and she screamed, and we took care of it. Okay, it was a team effort. It's terrifying. And then 5 minutes later, I'm in the shower and I hear her scream bloody murder flamingo. And I just knew that there was just another massive spider, and I locked my door. I just could not do it. I had to leave her alone. I'm a horrible friend. I know that having a code word sounds pretty ridiculous, but whether or not, whatever age you are, whatever diagnosis you have, there's something very important to have that, you know, someday, if anything were to happen to me, if I were to fall and hit my head, if I were to lose so much blood that I didn't feel safe of standing up on my own, I would yell at flamingo, and hopefully any of my friends or my boyfriend would be able to know, okay, that's a situation where I'm allowed to barge in to her bathroom door and take care of her. I think the stereotype of Crohn's disease is that you just have massive diarrhea, and frankly that's not really the case for me. And I think the idea of being ashamed of going to the bathroom is pretty ridiculous. I am more than willing to continue to talk about my bowel movements if you would like. I know that this video is kind of weird, just talking about all your BMs in the bathroom, but really when you have Crohn's disease, you gotta be smart. You gotta be strategic. You gotta know that when you're in the danger zone, you have all of the weapons you need. And if you need backup, say flamingo.